If you are so upset, if you are so annoyed with that particular profession or job or business, you should be able to say, "Khalas, I'm done," and walk away and do something else. The fact that you're not moving on doing something else tells me you're stuck. And the reason why you're stuck is because welcome. This is Gull Khan, your money mindset expert. And today we're talking about the different vibrations of money and toxic money. Now, we have covered both of these topics in previous episodes already. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, please go back and check. And there's previous episode on it. If you're watching this on YouTube, then there's an episode on these individually on these topics as well. And we will endeavor to put the link in the description as well. All right, so let's get clear on what I mean by different vibrations of money. So let's listen to the first 4 principles of law of attraction, which underlie anything, law of attraction. So law of attraction is really the law of vibration. Quantum physics teaches us this, that there are 3 core principles which underlie, the law of attraction, okay? Principle number 1, okay? Everything is energy, which is the sound of my voice, and my eyes, my hands, my fingers, my nails, etc. Okay, my hair, everything. So if everything is energy, that includes money. Okay, so let's just be very real. Let's talk about hardcore cash at the moment. Let's talk about money per se. Okay, so that includes money. Principle number 2. If everything is energy, then everything has to vibrate at a particular frequency, right? And that includes money. And principle number 3 is whatever's on that frequency with you, you are in harmony with that. So basically you're in alignment with that. That's pretty much what they mean. So when they say align yourself with money, that's what they're basically saying. They're saying be on the same frequency as money, okay? Now, those are the core 3 principles. Now let's take a step further. What do I mean by different vibrations of money? Well, let me say at the outset, the money's vibration does not change. Okay, let me say that again. Let me repeat that to make it even more clear in your head. The vibration of money does not change. The vibration of money is always constant. It's always the same. Okay, money is neutral. It doesn't have a mind of its own. It doesn't have any emotions. It doesn't have any negative feelings. It doesn't have any willpower. You are the only one with the willpower and the emotions to go with it. Money does not have willpower. Money does not have any say on where it goes and comes, etc., etc. Okay, so the reason why money will come or come and not stay is because of your own energy. So it's your energy which dictates the vibration of money. So let's get that very, very clear. I want to explain to you that even though we are talking about different vibrations of money, the vibration of money is dependent on your emotions towards it. Very, very, very clear about it, okay? Money itself is neutral. It has neutral energy and it's a neutral vibration. It's right in the middle. Your emotions towards it on a particular matter or particular whatever I want to explain in a bit why or how you attain it will dictate the vibration that money is under. Okay, and how this leads to toxic money, I'll explain in a bit. Okay, but just understand these principles for the time being. Then that begs the question, what are the different vibrations of money? Now, for simplicity's sake, I'm explaining 3 parts. I'm saying the high, mid, and low. But I want you to understand. Okay, we know this from physics that the spectrum of vision is huge. We are able to see a small section of it. So it would be, for us to see light, or what we see is a small section of that spectrum. Same thing with listening. The spectrum for or the auditory spectrum is again huge. What we can hear, the frequency that we can hear is actually very limited. It's a very specific section, and that's why dogs can hear the dog whistle. We cannot. Okay, it's for us, we don't hear anything, but dogs can hear it. And so this is quite important for you to understand, okay? So, but for simplicity's sake, so on this video or on this podcast, I'm trying to explain it to you this way that if you imagine there's a whole spectrum going from the high to mid to low all the way through, and you're always shifting up and down. So you're always going up or down. Now, something else that's become very apparent to me, it's a principle actually I learned from Tony Robbins way back, must be about 20 odd years ago, when he said you're either growing or you're deteriorating. There's nothing in between. You're either getting better at something or getting worse at something. You can't be stagnant. You're never at status quo. You're never in the middle. Okay, so the same principles apply with money. Your relationship with money is every day is getting better or it's getting worse. There's nothing in between. If you think, if I ignore money or if I don't think about money for a few days, my relationship with money will be the same. No, it won't. Okay, Your relationship with money is either getting better every single day or it's getting worse every single day, and you decide which way around you want to work on it. Okay, like your health, your body. If you don't train your body, if you don't exercise every single day, or if you don't exercise regularly, your body will begin to deteriorate. Your muscle will start to disintegrate. You will start losing muscle mass and start gaining fat, and your fat consumption or fat percentage level will go up. Simple as that, right? So this is very important for you to understand. So if that's the thing, it's high, mid, and low. Let's start with the low end. What do I mean? That's very easy to explain. So let's start with the low end. Low vibration money is any money that you attain by frauding someone. So if you have cheated someone, if you're committing fraud, if you're doing something wrong, in your heart of hearts, you know what's wrong, okay? Everybody, doesn't simply say, oh, there's some people who don't understand the difference between right and wrong. That's absolutely BS. I don't buy into that at all, okay? You may not follow the rules. You may not think, well, I don't care. You may become complacent to, what's right and wrong, but doesn't mean you don't know what's right and wrong. So in your heart, your ego, your higher self, your ego and your higher self both know what's right and what's wrong. Okay, this excuse that I didn't know, it's not an excuse for me. I don't really buy that. Okay, I'm not going to buy into that. Now I'm going to put a caveat in here. If you do something wrong, like maybe you committed a fraud but didn't realize it was a fraud, or for example, just the example that I used before, you have an off license, you don't have an off license, so you just have a regular shop and you don't know that you're not allowed to sell alcohol after certain hours without a license, and you continue to do so. That's a legitimate mistake. So when you're mistaken, it's something different. The difference is when you are intentionally committing a wrong and trying to make money in the process. That is wrong. You harm other people. It doesn't matter if there's, I have had somebody say to me, oh, well, I'm not really harming anyone. I was just, I think it's called insurance fraud. And when I was having this conversation with the individual, he said, well, the insurance fraud isn't really harming anybody. Yes, it's not really wrong, is it? Because you're not harming anyone particular. It's just the company, it's just the system. It doesn't matter who you're harming in physically in person. If you are doing something wrong, you are harming yourself. Let me repeat that. If you are committing a wrong and your higher self knows you're doing something wrong, whether you accept to acknowledge it or not, it doesn't matter. You are harming yourself. Forget everybody else. Okay? Whatever you do to anybody else, you do it to yourself. So keep that in mind. Now, that leads us on to the middle vibration money. What's called mid vibration money? Mid vibration money is money that you obtain when you're doing something honestly. So you're providing an honest service, a product or something, and that has value and people value that service and product, but you are so fed up with that job, with that profession, with that environment, with that job, that your energy towards that, the money coming from it becomes like, whatever, and it's just a means to an end. So your negative emotions cancel out the high vibration from that job or a product that you're serving. So maybe you're in a business of providing this e-commerce products to different people, and that product has a lot of value. People really appreciate that particular product, but you're fed up of the e-commerce business. That could start causing the vibration of the money to go down. Now let's talk about high vibration money. Now, high vibration money is money that you make when you provide a product or a service to people and they really value it and you absolutely love providing them. So for example, my work, my profession, I have a number of businesses. I do have multiple businesses. I'm a trader, I have property, and I do a number of other things. I've got myself, sort of entangled in a few things. But the one place that I absolutely love and is my coaching business. I absolutely love my coaching business. And my intention always is I give 10 times value back to 10 times in value back to every penny or a pound I receive. So I'm really happy providing that service and receiving that money, and my clients are very happy receiving that service and paying my money. So do you see what I mean? It's a really, really win-win situation, and because it's a high vibration situation, I'm creating high vibration money. Now, this is what people talk about. So all the gurus, you must have heard about the gurus saying, go and work on your passion. You must love what you do. This is why they tell you to do that. Okay, this is why. Because you can create money doing a whole heap of things. I promise you can do a lot of things to create money. But if you don't enjoy what you do, if you don't have passion for what you do, if you don't absolutely love what you are creating or making or sending out into the world, your vibration over time will diminish and lower. And so even though you're making money, the vibration of the money will become lower. And what happens is, at the lower the vibration of money, the less likely it is to stay with you. So it comes to a point where you know that there's an old saying, crime never pays. Why? Because if you've committed crime, if you did something wrong to get a heap of money, you may have obtained it, you may have received it, but because it's low vibration money, it won't stay with you. Similarly, if you earn a job, and this happens quite a bit, around the time when you get disillusioned with your profession, and I've spoken to so many professions like doctors and lawyers and architects and accountants and God knows who else, people who, you know, in the late 30s and early 40s, they've been working in the profession for 10, 15, 20 years, and now they've become disillusioned with it. It's no longer passionate for them, and they find they're in the neutral zone for money rather than the high vibration money. Even though they're providing an excellent service, they have a heap of experience, so that their employer or their clients are really happy to receive their service. It's because their own energy, the money becomes neutral, and then they wonder why money never stays. Every money they make, they end up losing, or it goes out for one way or another, and they find that the money goes out a lot faster than money they're receiving. So the outgoings start to become greater than the incoming, and this is where they start to understand, why am I not? I'm been working for 25 years, and why 20 years or 15 years, and I have nothing to show for it, and that explains why. Okay, so I'm able to talk to someone very quickly and ascertain why they're stuck where they are and what's holding them back. So the idea for you, and everybody's been speaking about this, is for you to create a business or a job or a profession where you absolutely love what you do. Now, I probably receive most of my money for my trading more than anything else, and the thing is, I absolutely love trading. So I'm a numbers person. So which is I'm quite a bit of a unique, of course I'm a unicorn. I am a unicorn in the sense that I'm a very logical minded person. I am a very, very numbers girl. I love maths when I was growing up. I did double A level maths, and the more complex a problem or formula, the better I became at it, and the more the more intrigued me and so forth. So I love numbers, and I love working through problems. So that's why I absolutely love trading. Now, that's why the money I receive from this high vibration, because I enjoy what I do. Even the losses, I tell you, I've lost quite a lot of money in the learning process, but I have a target what I am aiming to do with my trading career, and therefore I see that as part of my my learning tax. I'm paying that learning tax as I go along, and so that's what's going to happen. Fair enough, right? So along with that, the coaching is something that I absolutely love. I love talking to people, I love talking about money, and this is the two things combined together, and that's why my coaching is fabulous. And I am doing really, really well financially in my coaching business as well, and this is why we are going to continue. If it didn't make financial sense to me, I probably would not continue with it, but it is financially very, very profitable for me. So I continue, even though it's less profitable than my trading, but I enjoy it more than my trading. Does that make sense? So I'm able to, because I'm so profitable at my other businesses, I'm able to do something which is probably not as profitable, but I enjoy so much. So it feeds off. So even though the money I need for the lifestyle I want, or the kind of things I want to do, I get from other means, my coaching provides me the joy, the happiness, the kind of enthusiasm for life that I can then feed back into my life and back into my other professions. I hope that makes sense, right? So this is the different vibrations of money, and this is so important. Now, how does money become toxic, and why does it become toxic? Now, I've hinted around this already. When you're making money from a profession or a job or a business that is no longer holding your enthusiasm, it's no longer making you feel alive, it's no longer doing anything for you, and you feel bored and you feel stuck, or you're in an environment which is toxic. So it could be you have a toxic boss, you have a toxic colleague, or you are stuck in a toxic relationship. There's a whole heap of factors that could work around it, but it's always around your emotions. People think that money is something separate from their emotions. It's not. It's totally not, right? So it's your emotions which dictates how much money you can have and keep, right? So let's talk about this from this sense. If you are in a job that you no longer enjoy doing, or you're in a job where the boss is awful, you hate your colleagues, you hate the environment, you hate your company, the whole environment doesn't work for you, then the more negative you feel towards that company, that place where you're receiving the money from, the more toxic your money will become, okay? So pretty much what you're doing is you're taking the emotion of toxicity and you're putting it onto money. And so your money becomes toxic for you. This can happen in a profession, like a job or something, or it can happen even in your business. So for example, I've heard of people who have burnouts and they're really sick of their e-commerce business or their some other business. It could be offline, online, whatever. And I find that if you are not waking up screaming, oh my God, what a wonderful life, and I love to do what I do, etc., and you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're going to be stuck. If you feel stuck, that's the only reason why you don't change your profession. Okay, very important. If you are so upset, if you are so annoyed with that particular profession or job or business, you should be able to say, khalas, I'm done, and walk away and do something else. The fact that you're not moving on doing something else tells me you're stuck. And the reason why you're stuck is because you need the money from there to pay your your bills, your mortgage, your rent, your food bills, your utility bills, etc. And this is this is why it's important for you to recognize, okay, fair enough, okay. If I'm not stuck, then I should be able to leave. If I can't leave, I have to be honest with myself. It means I'm currently stuck, which means you are dependent on that particular job or that business or that profession to pay for your life, which means you are currently in the energy of survival. So even though you hate that profession, even though you hate that job, even though you hate that business, even though nothing about it makes you happy, you're kind of stuck that you can't move out from there because you are, you need that money for your bills, for your, to have food on the table. It's literally this energy of survival. Now, anytime you are in the energy of survival, you are lowering your vibration. Okay, you are lowering your vibration. You go into lack and scarcity, and you believe that if you leave this job, if you leave this profession, you will not be able to have the kind of lifestyle that you want, or you won't be able to survive. And that puts money into a whole different energy. And guess what? You start resenting and hating money, hence toxic money. There are other aspects to toxic money. So if you are interested in listening and learning more about the other aspects of toxic money, then please go ahead and listen to that specific episode done on toxic money, both on YouTube and on our podcast series. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube, then we will have a link to it somewhere in the descriptions for the toxic money. So I hope you got value from today's episode. If you have, please do leave a review for us on iTunes or Spotify. And if you do, then please take a screenshot of that and send it to moneymindsetpodcast@gmail.com. That's moneymindsetpodcast@gmail.com, and we will send you our Millionaire Mirror meditation for free, as our way of saying thank you for supporting our podcasting journey. And if you are interested in learning more about anything I do, or if you want a specific topic for me to cover, so I'm opening this up to everybody listening to this at the moment. If there's a particular topic that you want me to cover related to money, then please drop us an email again at moneymindsetpodcast@gmail.com. That's moneymindsetpodcast@gmail.com, and I will endeavor to create a podcast or an episode specifically around that topic. There's nothing about money that I can't talk about. So if there's a particular topic that you want me to cover or would cover in greater depth, then do reach out to us and let us know, and I will do that for you. Okay, well, until the next time we meet, this is Gull Khan signing off. Take care and bye for now.